What's up EFD squad? With the Champions League back on our screens, what better way to celebrate than count down some of the craziest feats ever achieved in the competition. Let's go. 10. Most goals in a single campaign. Arguably the Champions League's greatest ever performer, Cristiano Ronaldo's tally of 134 goals in the competition looks insurmountable, with Lionel Messi 15 behind him on 119. What's more, CR7 is famous for scoring vital goals, and plenty of them, in the latter stages of the competition. The Portuguese maestro hit double figures in the UCL for 7 consecutive seasons between 2011 and 2018, an incredible achievement given only 4 players, Messi, Kaká, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Filippo Inzaghi, had managed it in the previous 10 years, with Van Nistelrooy the only player to do it twice. And in 2013-14, Ronaldo put away 17 strikes, smashing the previous record of 14 which had stood since 1963. 8 of them came in the knockout stages, as Los Blancos won their first Champions League for 12 years, and the former Man United man continued his prolific form in following seasons, so much so that he also holds the record for second most goals in a campaign, hitting 16 2 years later. Messi has never scored more than 14, while Robert Lewandowski has come the closest with 15. With that generation of players now aging out, it'll be up to Mbappe and Haaland to match CR7's record. 9. Biggest win in a knockout tie. Bayern Munich have handed out their fair share of Champions League drubbings, with Barcelona all too often on the end of them. In 2013, they thrashed the Blaugrana 7-0 on aggregate in the semis, a scoreline which still represents the biggest win beyond the last 16 stage in the Champions League era, and humiliated them again in 2020, sticking 8 past them in just 90 minutes. But they also hold the record for the biggest margin of victory in a knockout tie full stop. In 2008-09, they came up against a strong Sporting Club de Portugal side featuring the likes of João Moutinho and Rui Patricio, which had finished just 1 point off Barcelona in their group. And Bayern were not the beast we know them as today. They were underperforming under Jurgen Klinsmann and would go on to lose that season's Bundesliga to Wolfsburg. But they ran riot over their Portuguese opponents in the last 16, beating them 5-0 in the first leg thanks to braces from Franck Ribéry and Luca Toni. And even with that formidable pair rested for the second leg at home, the Bavarians only went up a gear, dispatching the Lions 7-1, with a 19-year-old Thomas Müller even getting in on the action to help build a 12-1 aggregate win. We can't see this one getting beaten for quite some time. Before we move on to our next insurmountable record, if you want more top-notch Champions League content, subscribe to Eurofootball Daily and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. 8. Losses in finals. Now for an accolade which no team wants. Number 1 bottlers. Juventus haven't won the Champions League since 1996, despite being one of the favourites in almost every season since then and reaching 5 finals in that time. And by the time they won their first European Cup back in 1985, they'd already lost 2 finals, bringing their total to 7 and beating out Bayern and Benfica, who have fallen at the final hurdle 5 times each. With just 2 victories from 9 final appearances, Juve's knack for coming up short in club football's biggest game is now the stuff of legend, and has meant that greats like Gianluigi Buffon, Lilian Thuram and Leonardo Bonucci have never won the coveted trophy. And more recently, they haven't had the best of luck with opposition. In 2015, they were taken apart by a Barcelona side with MSN at their peak, and 2 years later were demolished 4-1 by Zidane's greatest Real Madrid side. More painful were their losses against Dortmund in 1997 and AC Milan in 2003, both matches in which they were very much the favourites. 7. Stronger in Europe than at home. It's a long time since Nottingham Forest were among the best teams in England, let alone Europe. They only took part in 5 top-flight campaigns after it became the Premier League in 1992, getting relegated in 3 of those seasons, and haven't appeared in the Prem since 1999. It was a similar story before Brian Clough took over as manager in 1975, which made the domestic and European success which came soon after very surprising indeed. Forest won their first English League title in 1978, defeated Malmo in the European Cup final a year later, and repeated the feat in 1980, beating Hamburg. But they never again won the English title, meaning they remain the only club in history to have won the European Cup more times than their domestic league. Unless Atalanta or RB Leipzig can cause an upset in the next few years, Forest's strange record will remain intact for a good while yet. What's more, having been relegated to League One in 2005, they are also the only European champions to later get demoted to the third tier of their National League system. 6. Unbeatable. Barcelona lost to Shakhtar Donetsk in the groups before going on to win the treble in 2008-09, while Bayern Munich were defeated by Bate Borisov before achieving the same feat 4 years later. But between 2007 and 2009, Man United recorded 0 losses in Europe for almost 2 entire seasons, with their record run of 25 unbeaten games finally coming to an end at the hands of Pep Guardiola's Barca in the 2009 final. That streak of course included their triumph in 2008 when they conceded just 6 goals in 13 games, and they were similarly watertight the following campaign, again conceding 6 en route to the final. A testament to a defence which featured Ferdinand, Vidic, Evra and Van der Sar all at the top of their game. Their 16 unbeaten away games in that time is also a record, but the home equivalent achieved by Bayern Munich is almost unfathomable. German giants didn't lose in Bavaria for 43 matches, stretching between 1969 and 1991. In the Champions League era, that record belongs to Barcelona, who were undefeated at the Camp Nou for 38 games between 2013 and 2020. 5. Longest time without conceding. In their heyday, Arsene Wenger's Arsenal were famous for their free-flowing attacking football, but the record they hold in Europe proves they weren't bad defensively either. Between a 2-1 victory over Ajax in the group stage and a 2-1 loss to Barcelona in the final, the Gunners kept 10 consecutive clean sheets in the 2005-06 edition of the Champions League. They may have lost Patrick Vieira the previous summer, but Wenger's side still contained a number of invincibles, including Gilberto Silva in the midfield, Ashley Cole, Kolo Touré and Sol Campbell in the back line, and Jens Lehmann between the sticks. And while they were handed an easy group, the Gunners had it all to do in the knockouts, dispatching Real Madrid and Juventus without conceding against the likes of Ronaldo, Zidane, Trezeguet and Ibrahimovic. Not to mention keeping out Juan Roman Riquelme and Diego Forlan in the semis against Villarreal. And if that wasn't enough, when it came to the final itself, they managed to keep the likes of Ronaldinho and Eto'o at bay for 76 minutes, having been reduced to 10 men just after the 15-minute mark, meaning the Arsenal net didn't bulge for 995 minutes in total. Considering this hasn't been matched by more famous defensive sides like Mourinho's Inter, Fergie's United or Simeone's Atletico, suggests this is a record that will actually never be broken. Well done, Arsene. 4. Most goals in a knockout game. He may never catch up with Ronaldo's total number of Champions League goals, but Lionel Messi does hold a record that we reckon will never be beaten. In 2012, he netted 5 in a single game against Bayer Leverkusen in the last 16, setting a new record for goals scored by a player in a knockout match in the Champions League era. The only other player to score 5 in a UCL match full stop is Luis Adriano, who did so for Shakhtar Donetsk in a group game against Bate Borisov in 2014. And while quite a few have scored 4 in a knockout match, notably Robert Lewandowski against Real Madrid in the 2013 semi-finals, Messi's feat is yet to be matched, which suggests that beating it is pretty much impossible. Erling Haaland may be one of the most clinical strikers to ever emerge in Europe, but even he'd struggle to score 6 in a game in the latter stages of the competition. However, it's no doubt something that he'll try his best to do in the next few years. 3. Biggest comeback. The Champions League has thrown up some of the greatest comebacks ever witnessed in football, from Man United's injury time turnaround against Bayern Munich in 1999 to Liverpool's improbable fight back against AC Milan 6 years later, not to mention Deportivo's similarly impressive comeback from 4-1 down against the Rossoneri in the quarter-finals of 2004. But only one team has lost the first leg of a knockout match by 4 goals and still managed to qualify for the next round. In 2017, Barcelona were humbled 4-0 by PSG at the Parc des Princes, only to stage a dramatic turnaround at the Camp Nou inspired by Neymar, who would move to Paris for eye-watering money just months later. 2-0 up at half-time, the Blaugrana were on top, but some way off winning the tie, and this was even truer after 62 minutes, when Edinson Cavani scored to make it 3-1. However, Barca manager Luis Enrique was still confident, and had even said in the dressing room during the interval, even if there are only 5 minutes left, you'll still be able to score 3 goals. Neymar clearly took this on board, scoring a worldy free kick on 88 minutes, putting away a dubious penalty on 91 minutes, and setting up Sergio Roberto for the 6th on 95 minutes to complete what became known as La Remontada. One of the most intense nights in European football history, and a feat which may never be matched. 2. Most ruthless. We've been treated to some truly incredible Champions League winning sides in recent years, but none have been quite as dominant as Bayern Munich in 2019-20. Inspired by the ridiculously prolific form of Robert Lewandowski and Serge Gnabry, and with Coutinho, Kimmich, Müller, Perisic and Alphonso Davies also producing the goods in the final third, The Bavarians notched up 43 goals en route to victory, making them the highest scoring side to win the tournament in the Champions League era. What's more, due to the amount of games being reduced in the wake of the pandemic, they did it in just 11 matches, meaning they averaged an astounding 3.9 goals a game, by far the best ratio in the competition's history. And if that wasn't enough, they also won all of those 11 fixtures and carried that winning streak into the following season, bowing out with a 1-1 draw to Atletico Madrid in December 2020. And yes, you've guessed it, they also set another record with that, with no side having won 15 consecutive Champions League games before them. When it comes to sheer ruthlessness, Bayern Munich are one of the best to ever do it. Just ask fans of Spurs and Barcelona. 1. Most Champions League triumphs. Between 1955-56, the inaugural season of the European Cup, and 1959-60, Real Madrid won the competition 5 times in a row, a tally of triumphs which has only been matched by 4 other clubs in the 60 years since. And in those 60 years, Los Blancos have added another 8 to their trophy cabinet, which is also more than any other club has managed in that time. And this is despite the Spanish giants enduring 2 significant spells without getting their hands on it, for 32 years between 1966 and 1998, and for another 12 between 2002 and 2014, with their run of 4 and 5 years under Ancelotti and Zidane putting serious daylight between them and AC Milan, who before 2014 were just 2 behind them on 7. And Real's insurmountable record of 13 European Cups has much to do with their excellent record in finals. Of the 16 they've reached, they've lost just 3, winning each of the last 7 they've been involved in. From Di Stefano to Ronaldo, Santa Maria to Ramos, the Bernabeu has the richest heritage in European football, and the silverware backs this up. So those were our Champions League records that may never be beaten, but which one do you reckon is most likely to be toppled in the next few years? Let us know in the comments below and we'll do our best to reply. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, and why not stick on Euro Football Daily by checking out our other great content, including our latest explained on Romelu Lukaku, which is on screen right now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.